Welcome back, Holotable Heroes, to another Galaxy of Heroes video. Today we are going to be discussing the brand new Chief Tarful kit that has been announced and we will be getting as a marquee character very shortly. Hashtag watch this space, known as the Holotables. We will also be discussing what this means for the Wookiees and why he is here. Well, it's because of, the Cal Kestis legendary event that's coming very shortly. Anyway, let's break this down. So the marquee kit reveal for Chief Tarful is finally with us. He might not have the title Chief within his name, but he is a chief in our hearts and in our minds. Highlights, he gives defense to the Wookiees and he converts that defense into offense, which is actually quite a nice nuanced way. I like how CG has been sort of trying to pull back the need to have speed on every single character and try to introduce some additional mechanics into the game that make speed not the only thing that matters. Take a look at the characters of Seer Junda and Cal Kestis. Now we're seeing similar things with Chief Tarful as well. Wookiee allies can reflect critical damage back onto the attacker, which is quite a cool little nuanced idea of this kit, and he can use to dispel debuffs on all allies and punish enemies with Provoked. Synergy suggestions, absolutely no General Kenobi in the synergy list here. I think it was probably an oversight, perhaps a mistake. We've got Clone Wars Chewie, Zalbar, Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca, and Veteran Smuggler Han Solo. Now, I think it's pretty clear as to why Veteran Han is in here, and that's mostly because they don't want you to be taking the likes of Chewie and Chewpio away from a Rebel team, and there are a very limited number of Wookiees. I would like to see if we could have Mission Vow here as well, just to give them a little bit more maneuverability. If we've got Zalbar without Mission, what does Mission do without Zalbar? That sort of thing. But hey, this is still cool to see. So, what can we see? His basic ability is the DC-15S Blaster, relatively standard attack there against that probe droid. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. Guys, there are a few characters in the game right now that have got Dispel on a basic, and all of them are phenomenal. You've got the likes of Shakti, you've got Nihilus, you've got Aayla. Yes, Aayla Secura is fantastic. Come at me, bro. But not only that, Wookiee allies gain defense up, and protection up for 2 turns. So it's all about that defense. It's about maintaining survivability and then converting that into stacking offense. As far as basics goes, this is phenomenal. Okay, special 1, Wookiee Fury with a cooldown of 4. Alright, it looks like he roars in points. Nice stuff. Wookiee allies gain 25% defense stacking for the rest of the encounter. That's huge. 25% stacking defense. I know you get diminishing returns with defense, but consider we are going to be converting this defense into offense. It's pretty huge. Call all Wookiee allies to assist and stun the target enemy for 1 turn. So it's a cooldown of 4, AoE, stacking stats, stun target enemy for 1 turn. Ally attackers gain crit damage up for 2 turns, healers and supports gain speed up for 2 turns, and ally tanks taunt for 2 turns. Note that this isn't actually all about Wookiees. This first sentence here relates to Wookiees, then the second sentence here goes for any team. So this will actually help your Veteran Smuggler Han, or you could probably try and throw in Mission Vow in there as well. Attackers gaining crit damage up, allied healers gain and supports gain speed up for 2 turns. Now Tarful is a support character himself, so he will be gaining that speed up, and you've got Zalbar and Clone Wars Chewie that are both going to taunt for 2 turns. His second special is cooldown of 3. Dispel all debuffs on all allies. Nice to have a global cleanse, and again, this is not restricted to Wookiees, it's all allies, and they gain 50% crit damage for 2 turns. It doesn't say they gain the buff crit damage up, but this means it can't be dispelled or anything like that, which I am all here for. Wookiee allies gain potency up and tenacity up for 2 turns, and gain 10% max health stacking for the rest of the encounter. There's no cap on this stack, guys. Absolutely no cap on it. I love it. All enemies are inflicted with Provoked for 1 turn, which cannot be evaded. Unique 1, Better Together. This is a Zeta ability. Final text. Tarful has got 30% tenacity and 20 speed. Whenever an ally has a buff dispelled, Tarful is gaining 10% turn meter. Now, this team has got quite a lot of buffs that are temporary, even from his unique, his specials, and characters like Clone Wars Chewie can taunt, for example, gives himself health up. You've got Zalbar with Retribution, that sort of business. So there's going to be a lot of debuffs that are dispelling, over time, and Tarful is then going to be gaining additional turn meter, which also feeds into how you might mod this team. You don't want to worry too much about speed because you want to be stacking that defense. So the fact that he's got constant turn meter generation is actually very useful. If there are at least 3 Wookiee allies at the start of battle, this means that this will work in 3v3 and 5v5 because it doesn't say other Wookiee allies, it says Wookiee allies. So if you're going with a team full of Wookiees at the start, you are golden. Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, all allies gain 25 speed, stacking maximum of 500 for one turn. We were talking about, you don't want to mod for speed. This kind of counterbalances it. There's loads of teams that attack out of turn. Basically, every team has some form of attacking out of turn, which is going to give us stacking speed so that eventually our Wookiees will take a turn. Whenever a Wookiee ally gains health up, Clone Wars Chewie definitely has health up on his first special. All allies recover 50% health and protection and gain advantage for one turn. That's pretty huge. Consider we're gaining stacking crit damage as well. Gaining advantage means we're guaranteed to crit unless they've got crit hit immunity. Recovering 50% health and protection is also great for banners in GAC. I love this. Whenever a Wookiee ally has retribution, so Zalbar gets that passively whenever an ally drops below 100% health, Wookiee allies inflict damage over time to the target enemy for 2 turns when they use a basic ability. That's amazing. Which cannot be evaded. Can be resisted, but cannot be evaded. Stacking debuffs is always nice, guys. If Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca is an ally, whenever Tarful uses Veteran Smuggler Han Solo also gains these bonuses. So let's go back and check here. The bonuses that we're looking at here are this potency up and tenacity up, 10% max health stacking. So your Veteran Smuggler Han will be stacking max health, which is amazing. Okay, leader, it's all in the fur. Has an Omicron as well as the Zeta. Really like to see this, even if it is only for Territory War. I'm not a massive Territory War Omicron fan, but hey, it's a game mode that CG's trying to push the importance of. I love the name of it though. All in the fur. It's great. At the start of battle, all Wookiee tanks taunt for one turn, which means your Zalbar and your Clone Wars Chewie are going to pre-taunt, which is amazing. All allies gain 20% defense and max health, which is doubled for Wookiees. So Veteran Smuggler Han will not be gaining that bonus. However, they will be gaining 40% for your Wookiees, 20% for other characters. Whenever a Wookiee ally gains taunt, all Wookiee allies gain 10% defense, stacking it for the rest of their counter. So we're going to start this battle, and all the Wookiee allies are going to be gaining 20% stacking defense right out of the gate. Whenever taunt expires, all Wookiee allies recover 50% health. Amazing. At the start of each Wookiee ally's turn, they gain offense equal to 200% of their defense until the end of the turn. Now, this last sentence here is obviously where all the damage is coming from on this particular team. The idea is that you're going to be stacking your defense so high, and you're going to be gaining additional stacking defense as the game goes on. You convert that into offense in order to kill. So it's about holding off the enemy's advances until you can kill them, which is cool. I like the idea. Just needs to see how it works in practice. Now, the thing that confuses me about this line is it's a little ambiguous about how it reads. At the start of each Wookiee's turn, each allied Wookiee's turn, they gain offense. Now, does this mean, is this they as in the singular they or a plural they? So if it's the singular they, it means at the start of, say, Clone Wars Chewie's turn, Clone Wars Chewie will gain offense equal to 200% of their defense until the end of that turn. That's how I'm reading this, but I've had people in chat tell me, no, it'll go to all Wookiees. I don't think it's going to be like that, so it would be good to get a little bit of clarification from CG. At the start of each allied Wookiee's turn, is this offense gaining to the entire team? If it is, that changes this massively and makes it incredibly powerful. Because say Clone Wars Chewie takes a turn, and then 3 other Wookiees take a turn, and there's 1 Wookiee left that hasn't taken a turn, that Wookiee is then essentially going to be having 800% of his defense converted to offense, which would mean he would really hurt. He would really hurt some people. Personally, I don't think it works like that. I think it's basically when you start your turn, that Wookiee is going to gain 200% of his defense to his offense. He finishes his turn and it's gone. That's how I think it reads. This means that when you've got retribution and you're counterattacking, you're not going to be converting that defense to offense, but during your own turns, you will deal damage. If there are no galactic enemies, Galactic Legend enemies, so it's okay if you have got one on you, but we're not going to be using a GL with this team. Whenever an allied Wookiee is critically hit, you reflect 50% of the damage dealt back at the attacker. This damage cannot defeat enemies. This is really interesting, because obviously it's going to be dealing damage back to the enemy. 50% of the damage is pretty huge. You get crit for 100,000 damage, you're dealing 50,000 damage to the enemy. That's pretty cool, right? The only thing is the way this team works with all the stacking defense, you're going to be taking less and less damage, so therefore you're going to be reflecting less and less damage as time goes by. I still think this is a good unique. It just seems like it seems a little bit odd at the same time. Okay, so while in territory wars at the start of battle, all allies are gaining 25% defense, protection up, and tenacity up for 2 turns. Whenever allied Wookiees are critically hit, Wookiee allies gain foresight for 1 turn and gain additional stacking defense until the end of the encounter. So even more stacking defense, and you're gaining foresight. So it's got that survivability to help you build up over time. Whenever an allied Wookiee has retribution, all allies gain retribution. That's really cool. That is really cool. So you're not, you know, one of your Wookiees goes below 100% health. Zalbar's going to gain that retribution. Whole team gains retribution. That's really cool. The first time each Wookiee ally is defeated, all Wookiee allies have their cooldowns refreshed. They recover 100% of their health, gain 25% offense stacking until the end of the encounter. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They're going to be becoming more deadly and more deadly as the battle goes on. Obviously, when you start running out of characters, it does become a lot harder to close out the battle, but this is still a very cool mechanic. I like it. Whether or not I'll put this Territory War Omicron on, I'm not going to. I'll be honest, guys. I'm sure it will work. I'm sure it will work well, but I don't have the Wookiees to support it, so I can't very well back this particular Omicron. Key attributes. Wookiees together, strong. Tarful is home now. What bounces off me sticks on you. Synergy for Wookiees. Defense is offense. Use those defense mods. And Clone Wars Chewie finally has a home. So what are my concerns about this kit? Not really many. Not really many. Like, Clone Wars Chewie needed a place to be. Zalbar kind of had a place in a few niche teams, but nothing sort of frontline, mainline attacker sort of business, you know? He works really well with Zalbar, but not many people have got crazy high levels of investment in their Mission Vow and Zalbar. Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca, he didn't really have a place to be. He can go in places, sure, but it wasn't massively necessary. And Veteran Smuggler Han Solo, again, can go in some places, but nothing that is mainstream. I think this team will be good. However, I do feel like this team has got limited scope, essentially, as far as wide appeal. I think it will be great. I think it will really do well on the Kashyyyk mission for territory battle. But again, I don't feel like that is important enough to start throwing lots of relics on your Wookiees. So what I would say is, unless you are late game, I wouldn't worry too much about gearing up Tarful beyond Gear 12, because you're going to need him for the Cal Kestis Survivor or Jedi Knight Cal Kestis event in the near future. All the same, it's really cool to finally have a Wookiee faction. I'm hoping that we continue to get additional Wookiees released, build out that faction, and make it something that's actually really, really cool. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know, what are your thoughts on Chief Tarful, and what are your expectations for a brand new Saw Gerrera. I was having a bit of a brain melt there. Saw Gerrera will be the next and final marquee for Cal Kestis kit. Let me know what you think he's going to be. Personally, I think he's going to be a brand new Rebel fighter leader, and I think he's going to be taking up some of the leftover Rebel fighters that are missing Love Poor Bodhi Rook. Saying it now, it's going to be him. It's going to be cool. It's going to be grand. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, if you haven't already, please do like the video down below and hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of my future videos. All the best, peace out, and may the Force be with you.